Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone from all over the world. Welcome to our webinar on the evolution of user interfaces. Thanks for joining us. I'm Ron Frieden. I'm going to be moderating. I'm the head of content and creative marketing here at DID, and today we're set to explore some truly groundbreaking concepts and technology. Just before we get into the subject matter, I'll give you a quick overview of what's going to take place during the session. So we'll start with a brief intro to DID and our product. For those who don't know about us or are joining us at the Academy for the first time. After that, we're going to deep dive into the world of natural user interfaces, discuss a bit of their impact on various industries, and unveil DID's latest innovation, our Agents product. At the end, we'll have a few minutes for questions and answers, so please stick around. In the meantime, I mean, if you have questions, we have a Q&A going, so leave your questions there. Add things to chat. We're looking at it at the same time. If you have any questions, you can leave them there as well. So like I said, I'm Ron. I've been at DID for the last year and a half, and I've had the privilege of experiencing like the recent explosion of generative AI firsthand. It's been quite a roller coaster for everybody involved. And this is the fourth DID Academy that we've been holding. This one promises to be a really exciting one. A bit about DID for those who are unfamiliar. I know some of you have been to previous academies, some of you are here for the first time. So when we're talking about DID, we're talking about our core capability in the world of AI video generation. The company was founded in 2017. Back then, we focused on the human face, but from a bit of a different direction. It was all about protecting people's online identities by masking them from facial recognition software. About 3, maybe 4 years ago, we shifted direction, but used the same technological fundamentals to enter what we call now the generative AI space. This was before generative AI was even a term, but we were doing it using AI to generate new video frames from people's faces based on photos. Since that time, we've grown substantially. We raised significant funding from international venture capital firms. We've more than doubled in size in terms of personnel, and we've expanded geographically. We have offices all over the world. A bit about what we do. So we're considered one of the key building blocks in the generative AI industry. We've got a bunch of products. Probably the most familiar with them is the Creative Reality Studio. That's the go-to place for creating videos with avatars, talking avatars. Just a couple of months ago, we launched our mobile apps as well. So all the capabilities, all the videos that you can make in the studio are now also available on iOS and Android. We have a variety of integrations to some of the most popular work tools that you're familiar with, like Canva, PowerPoint, Google Slides, ChatGPT, and the list goes on. Next up, we have Agents. We'll hear a lot more about that in just a little while. That's kind of our freshest, newest product. We're excited about it. And all of that is supported by our API that developers, hopefully some of you are among them, you can use to build your own products featuring talking avatars with a face, hold face-to-face conversations with AI. Really exciting times. A bit about our numbers. So we have so far more than 150 million videos that have been made using our platforms. We've got 250,000 people that have generated an API key. That means people that are using our API to build products of their own. We have millions of people visiting our site every day, and we work it out to a sign up to the studio roughly every 3 seconds. So that's DID. That's me. Now it's my pleasure to introduce you to our speakers. First up, we have Matthew Kershaw. He's our VP of Strategy. His insights have been invaluable to shaping the future of our company. Matthew, you want to say a quick hello to the folks at home? Matthew, you're on mute.
Classic. Hi, everyone. I'm Matthew Kershaw. I've been at DID for 3 years, based at our London office, hence the British accent. My background is in digital media and strategy. I was head of digital at MTV and have worked for brands like Audi, Samsung, Johnny Walker. That one was fun. And I helped to, as Ron said, execute the company vision by combining strategic planning, project management, and leadership.
Thanks, Matthew. Next, I want to introduce you to Tomer. He's our VP of Marketing. Tomer, you want to say a few words?
Yeah, sure. So thanks, Ron. Hi, everybody. My name is Tomer Zucker, and I have the privilege of serving as the Vice President of Marketing at DAD, where I lead our global marketing team. And I'm really thrilled to be hosting today the webinar. This is the first webinar we are going to run in 2024. But more than that, we picked a very special topic for today, the evolution of AI technology. And we're going to explore the journey from generative AI hype, I would say, from 2022, 2023, into the present day in 2024, the adoption of Gen AI by businesses and enterprises. And it's an exciting transition, and we're going to talk about that today.
Excellent. Thanks, Tomer. And I see some people in chat already leaving your names, your locations. That's great. Lovely to see everyone. We welcome you. Kind of say hi to everyone. Tell us what industry you're in, what brings you to this webinar. We'd love to hear it. And we're going to dive in. So, Tomer, can you start us off by kind of giving the historical perspective?
Yeah, sure.
When we're talking about NUI, where does it start and where are we going?
Way, back then in the 80s, I would say. So let's take a journey through time. And we're going to begin in the 1980s and even before of that. I've been immersed in the world of computers for decades. I just look young. And I clearly recall the days when, as a teenager, my primary way of interacting with my old PC was through keyboard. That was known as TUI, tactual user interface. And it was exciting time, but also quite complex, especially in terms of using code and syntax. And to be honest, it wasn't always fun. So this is how it starts. And then come a significant shift to the world of GUI, graphical user interface. Suddenly, everyone began of using mouse and engaging with Windows-based UIs that aim to replicate the way we interact with real-world objects like folders. This transition was a tremendous improvement. However, it is still required us to learn specific conventions and procedures to effectively get what we wanted from software. And this remains the primary way most of us interact with application today. Furthermore, it's a nice pick. I love it. There is another significant challenge we encounter with the GUIs. Each new software introduced requires us to learn its unique user interface. Without mastering navigation skills, users are unable to fully benefit from the software. Let me share a story that can illustrate this point. I worked for Microsoft in the mid-2000s, and I remember a survey we conducted about Microsoft Office usage. The finding revealed that users were actually utilizing only 5% of Office features. One of the main reasons for this was difficulty for discovering the remaining 95% of the features. Just imagine the implication of these findings. And indeed, this situation creates a very frustrating experience for us as users. The challenge of navigating complex interfaces and difficulty in accessing the full range of features can significantly hinder our efficiency and enjoyment in using such software. And obviously, there is like a clear dichotomy here. On one hand, we desire a rich set of features that enhance our productivity. On the other hand, grappling with complex user interface is underproductive. We're constantly seeking a balance between functionality and ease of use, striving for software that not only offers comprehensive capabilities, but also ensure a user-friendly and more intuitive experience. And it's not a matter of laziness. But rather the efficiency and define smart usage tool. Software in essence is a tool. An intelligent user always seek the most effective way to maximize its potential. And this perspective is the key to understanding the success of companies like Apple. They have excelled in creating some of the smoothest user interface in the industry. Ones that prioritize user experience, placing the user in the center of or the core of the application rather than the other way around. And this user-centric approach is a significant factor in why their products resonate so well with consumers. Indeed, the last decade we witnessed a significant progress with the transition from focusing purely on user interface to a broader emphasis on user experience and the shift toward user-centric approach. However, despite this advancement, there are still gaps between what's currently available on our expectation as user. The journey towards perfecting user experience is ongoing, and while strides have been made, there's always room for improvement and to meet exceed expectation more effectively. And I think this picture says it all. And this gap indeed hinders us from achieving the level of advancement we aspire to. The GUI, while a significant step toward from previous interfaces, remain a barrier in many respects. It can limit our ability to fully harness the potential of software, affecting productivity and overall user satisfaction. Overcoming this barrier is crucial for the next leap in technological progress with user empowerment. And this brings us to a fundamental contradiction in the concept of tools. The primary purpose of any tool is to simplify our lives and enhance our productivity. However, when a tool, such a GUI in software, becomes complex or unintuitive, it strays us from fundamental purpose. Instead of facilitating tasks, it can become an obstacle, complicating processes and diminishing efficiency. And this contradiction highlights the ongoing challenge in technology design to create tools that are both powerful and user-friendly, aligning with their core purpose to make our lives easier and more productive. And this is like a critical juncture where we currently find ourselves. We are effectively seeking innovative way to interact with digital world. The need to transition to the next stage in the evolution of user interface is more apparent than ever. And this next stage involves not just incremental improvement in existing models, but also a significant leap forward. A reimagining of how we engage with digital spaces. It's about creating interfaces that are more intuitive, more efficient, and more aligned with natural human behavior, thereby transforming from our interaction with technology its profound and meaningful way. And you can see here the evolution. The concept that we're introducing today is known as natural user interface, or NUI for short. It represents the next significant step in the evolution of user interface. And NUI aims to facilitate interaction with digital environment in the most humanly natural manner possible. It's about creating an interface that feels instinctive and intuitive for us as human beings, reducing the learning curve and enhancing the overall user experience. And this concept of NUI is a fascinating and crucial development in our journey with technology. It suggests a future where technology adapts for us rather than us adopting to it. And let's delve into the concept of NUI.
Since the beginning, humankind has tried to perfect its interface with technology, but that only got us so far. Because we communicate with our voice, our eyes, our face, and our gestures, we need an interface that does as well. Introducing the Natural User Interface.
I'm NUI, a smarter interface that is more engaging, conversational, and, well, natural. I can appear in any form, speak any language, and scale infinitely while staying personalized for any number of users or use cases. Whether it's a friendly sales rep.
What about this jacket?
This one could suit your dress better. Or this. And how about these matching boots?
A personalized customer support agent.
I'm having trouble with the settings.
I totally understand, Richard. Let's go through it, step by step.
A learning and development manager.
Welcome to your onboarding training, Charlotte. Let's begin.
Or even an assistant.
Here's the data you asked for, next quarter's projections.
Thanks.
NUI is yours to use for any business need, enhancing mutual understanding, emotional connection, and trust.
Now, unleash the potential of technology to redefine what's humanly possible. Let's see how far we can go.
So, great video there. Really inspiring and kind of showing us the vision of NUI. But Tomer, just back to you quick. Can you elaborate a bit about why NUI, natural user interface, is so crucial for today's tech landscape?
Yeah. So you can see this dashboard, right? It's not like the most fun dashboard in the world. So the primary aim of technology is to be utilized by humans in their everyday lives, and not just by scientists or specialists. The ideal interface, not like this one on the image, is one that requires no learning curve. I think I mentioned that on the previous slides. The ultimate goal is to create technology that is inherently intuitive, allowing users to interact with it as naturally as they would with the physical world around them. So if you can, and this slide, it's a better UI. So this approach illustrates the essence of user-centric design, right? Technology should be accessible, understandable, and usable by everyone, seamlessly integrating into our daily routine without the need of specialized knowledge or training.
So again, it's quite a vision. And I want to move over to you, Matthew. So from your point of view, why do we actually need this more intuitive, human-centric technology? What's the cause there?
Yeah, it's a really, really good question. I guess, what we're saying here is that this next generation interface is going to be human, or kind of more specifically, it's going to be humanized. It won't be physical humans, but it'll be, digital humans. And there's a reason for that, which is, it's super important for us. If you're trying to sell something, if you're trying to teach people, you're trying to onboard them to your product, it's better with, a human in vision. There's lots of evidence to show that human communication is better if it's video, it's better if it has a face, and more importantly, actually, it's better if it's an avatar that reflects you and the way you speak and who you are. So there's lots of great reasons why this is there. And what we're looking at now as well, what's becoming more and more evident from the world of neuroscience, where they can now put sensors on your head and see what areas of your brain kind of light up when you do certain activities. And certainly what we're seeing now is that the way we respond to these digital human avatars that DID create, that people respond to it in a way very, very similar to the way they respond to actual humans. So to delve in a little bit of technical detail, this is, for instance, a paper from Maastricht University, found that, quotes, and I'll read the full quote here, expressions of emotions in human-like avatars can be perceived similarly to human emotions, with corresponding behavioral, psychological, and neuronal activations. In plain English, and very simply, in other words, when we interact with these digital humans that DID helps our customers create, people, the end users, react as if they're interacting with real humans. Their brain lights up in all those regions connecting to emotion and interpersonal experience. There's another paper from the University of Texas that says kind of specifically avatars with more realistic human-like appearance increased customers' perceptions of social presence, leading to high usage intentions. Again, in other words, what it's saying is not just about having an avatar that looks a bit human. The more human you can make it, the more photoreal and video real you can make it, the more people are going to react to it, the more they're going to buy from you, they're going to learn from you, they're going to engage with you. So it's a sort of super interesting space, and the tech, the science is certainly showing that we're onto the right track here.
But when we're talking about, all right, digital humans, people avatars we can interact with as we would humans, what's the use case? Where do you see that kind of existing in the world?
Yeah, I mean, I think this is a kind of technology that people have been using for a long, long time. I mean, what can you use? What do we use people for? People are, for me, the ultimate luxury. You see it in, I mean, these are dramatizations, but the ultra rich, whether they're the Roy family from New York or the Dutton family from Montana, I don't know. People follow these, but one is Succession, one is Yellowstone, two of the biggest dramas of the year. And what you see when you examine the lives of these famous rich people is that they have, quotes, people. They have personal chefs, personal assistants, personal trainers, personal shoppers, PR advisors, lawyers and tax advisors. And obviously they have people taking their photographs too, as you can see here. And what they don't do, and this is what us mere mortals do, is have to hold the line for a customer service representative or, fill in an online form. They have people for that. So I think this is, for me, where technology is about. It's about, enabling what was today's luxury and making it tomorrow's commonplace, and making it, democratizing it. And in a world where people are the ultimate luxury, is what we kind of feels like at the moment. These digital people that we're creating in NUI give us, the ability to access that for ourselves. We can have all the perks of having, our personal assistants, like the Roys and the Duttons and the Bezoses and the Musks. So
How?
How? Well, the answer is simple, as we keep talking about, digital humans. Digital humans are the answer to all of this. And when you break that down into right, what makes a digital human? It's got to be, as we've talked about, hyper realistic, because the more realistic it is, the more people relate to it. It's got to, sound like a human being, so it's got to have really, really truthful and human sounding audio and conversation. It's got to be low latency, because there's that flow of conversation you have. You can't be waiting around for too long before you get a reply, or it breaks the flow. And obviously it's got to be very smart. It's got to be grounded in LLMs. And that's the other technology I think we're very closely, allied with, is this massive rise in LLMs. We think of large language models like ChatGPT or Claude as being kind of the operating system. If they're the operating system, then I think digital people are going to become the interface. So LLMs are really important. And then lastly, and kind of not leastly, is emotional. This is the next frontier, I think, for digital people, is to enable them to kind of react, appropriately and respond accordingly to the emotion that the user is having, whether that's happiness, frustration, irritation, joy, whatever it might be. So I think emotion is the next frontier. As it says here, interfaces will hear subtext in your tone, see frustration in your face without needing to announce it. Agents will be able to mirror user emotions and create relationships with them. And software will be able to detect your emotions and reply accordingly. So these slides have said it more eloquently than I think I probably could have. And this is the point, is, and as something that Tom Ayer touched on, the next generation interface isn't one where it takes on where it takes on a personality. We don't use it, we don't browse it and scroll through it and have to operate on it to its terms. We work together with it.
All right, thanks a lot, Matthew. And then kind of, until now, we've spoken, to use a metaphor, about the car, so the vehicle that is NUI. But now it's time to take a look at what under the hood. And in this case, we're talking large language models. Tom, back to you. How does this kind of translate into real life? Where does the idea of NUI meet the users?
Yeah, so first of all, I love this analogy, Ron. If I think Matthew mentioned that if large language models, the LLMs, which form the foundation of generative AI technology like GPT, for instance, are similar to the engine of a car, like this one on this image, the natural user interface, the concept of NUI that we presented since the beginning of this webinar, are indeed the steering wheel and the dashboard. So this is like the analogy I'm using, and they provide the means to navigate and direct the powerful technology towards the desired outcomes or direction. So the slides quote here from Accenture, coming just days after we introduced the NUI to the world, like a few weeks ago. And I think it's underscored this relationship beautifully. In this context, if LLMs are the operating system powering the AI, then NUI is the user interface that makes the AI world accessible, intuitive, and user-friendly. So this is something that Accenture wrote about us only a few days after we launched NUI, and I think it tells the story for 2024.
Now, when we're looking at this kind of, all right, we're talking about NUI, we're talking about agents, we're talking about challenges, and one of the big ones is in the world of customer experience, customer engagement. When we're looking at this diagram, break it down for us.
Yeah, so we can talk about real life use cases, and I think exploring the application of natural user interface in customer experience is very, very interesting. NUI can play a pivotal role in enhancing CX, customer experience, addressing several challenges and bringing meaningful benefits to the organization, to companies. And we can break it down into key areas. For instance, engagement. So with NUI, you can enhance the user interface and satisfactions, offering always-on support and personalized avatar agents to increase the customer retention. And when we're talking about growth, for instance, so you can expand the customer base, supports user journeys, adapt to specific needs, and facilitates business expansion. And if you are talking about the bottom line, think about how you can boost revenue through improved user experience, reduce operational cost, block churn, and leverage data for personalized services. And all of these things, we are doing that at DID. Maybe on the next webinar, we will be able to disclose our own use cases. And if we are going to take one step further and consider the adoption of a natural user interface across specific industries like financial services and telco and healthcare and e-commerce and more, the benefits are extensive and diverse. For instance, NUI can facilitate more effective upselling and cross-selling by creating intuitive and engaging customer interaction. Think about, like doing shopping on Amazon.com. And automation and improved efficiency through NUI can significantly reduce the need for extensive labor, especially in customer service. In industries where customers are often feel lost, such as finance, maybe it's only me, or healthcare, NUI can provide clearer communication about fees, policies, and terms of service. Essential in complex sector. Think about that. NUI can simplify information, make it more accessible and understandable to customers. So in a world where customers expect immediate responses, NUI and agents can provide instant support, reducing wait times and improving customer satisfaction. And these are only 4 verticals or industries that we are showing today, but you can think on many, many more of those. And I think we can watch maybe a video that can illustrate one of the use cases.
Hey, how come the pitch quality on this big screen is so poor?
I don't know. Let me try their support.
Hi, David. How are you today? I'm Jess, your AI digital assistant. What can I help you with?
Hey, the game is all grainy. What's wrong with my TV?
I checked and your internet connection is in order. The reason for the poor quality has to do with your subscription. Would you like me to upgrade you to a premium plan so you can watch it in UHD?
I don't know. How much is it to upgrade?
It's $15, but let's not do this now. I temporarily changed your settings so you can watch the rest of the game in UHD. Let's talk again at halftime.
Sounds great.
Is there anything else I can help you with now?
No, I think we're good. I guess we'll see you at halftime. So charming video showcasing, a potential use case, talking to your TV. That day is not far off. Matthew, back to you. So, we've been talking all about NUI, natural user interface, but on the path to that, we're already productizing. We're leading the way. We've got our new product, agents. Can you talk us through the new capability, some of its possible use cases?
Do you know what? I can, Ron. Amazing. Yeah, so I think what we were asking ourselves at the time, if you could just move one slide on, is how can we have the best of both worlds? We've seen chatbots, and we've seen kind of, they're a little bit clunky, they're text-based, they're a bit simple, they're not personal, they can be sometimes more of a barrier to getting help than help itself. Obviously, when NLP came along, and that was slightly more natural, but it still lacks that human feel and is still very text-based. So you've got the chatbots on the one hand. On the other hand, you've got, real people, humans. And humans are great, but they also have their limitations. They can be, expensive. There's a limitation on how much, how many people you can deploy. They can be prone to error if you're not careful. If you don't, maybe have to train them a lot. So altogether, they're sort of humans have their upsides as well. So we're like, how can we merge these two things together? How can we take the best of these two things? And the answer actually was what we call agents. And Ron, if you could play roll VT, as they say.
Ever wish you could be everywhere? Talk to all your customers all at once? Introducing Agent, the generative AI digital person. Service providers, influencers, sales representatives. Choose a face or make your own. Train them on your data, add them to your website, and watch it go. I know Kung Fu now. Fight! Everywhere, all the time, all at once. Agents by DID.
Wow, that's
ever wish.
So yeah, moving on. So we're like, we've got the chatbots, we've got humans, and in the middle we've got agents. And these are what we think are the best of both worlds. It's got that human engagement that gives you, your return on investment. It's really consistent. The experience you're going to have, your customers are going to have with it, it's going to be consistent. It can talk in any language, and it's available 24/7, which is a huge advantage. Not just because they're there more, but because they're there more, they're not rushing off the call, as humans are, to get to the next call to improve their numbers. They can stay with you as long as you want, which is an enormous benefit, particularly things like e-commerce, where we know that the longer you spend with the digital human, the more likely you are to buy something. So availability is super important as well. What I'd like to do now is go to a video. This is actually made by a friend of DID, a guy called Jim McCormack. He's got a fantastic YouTube channel called AI by AI. That's AI_by_AI. Well worth following. And he created the following demo on how to create an agent. And it's just incredibly quick, simple, and super powerful because it's grounded on your data, your information, and therefore...
We'll be creating a DID agent for our hypothetical rental property called Highland House. The marketplace for rentals is very competitive and that operates 24/7 days a week. We can use our DID agent to support the booking process and assist clients throughout their stays with us. We plan to feature our agent on our web pages, in our welcome kit, and across all our social media channels. On screen, you can see that I'm logged into the home page of the DID Creative Reality Studio. We can click on the Agents tab and see the Agents gallery. In the upper right corner, you'll find the Create Agent button. Let's click on that and get started. You see 3 tabs at the top of the page. The first is the Appearance tab. Here we can choose the avatar or upload our own. If you're uploading your own photo, be sure to follow the guidelines for the best experience. I'm going to choose one from the gallery. Next is agent details. For Highland House, we're going to name our agent Alpine. For our agent voice, we're going to use the drop-down to make our selection. You can use the play button next to voice names to hear a sample of the voice to ensure you get a good match for your agent. For Alpine, we're going to use Jenny Multilingual. This female voice speaks a number of languages and is a great choice if you want to support international clients. Next, we'll detail the agent instructions. These instructions guide your agent and help them respond to clients. A good set of instructions is concise and directs your agent to act as a helpful assistant. Note there is a 300-character limit on the agent instructions. The instructions for our agent are as follows. Your name is Alpine. You are a helpful assistant for Highland House, a charming Airbnb property. Your role is to assist, inform, and delight our guests by sharing valuable insights about the property and surrounding community. Answer only using the information from our knowledge base. After completing our instructions, we can head over to the final tab for information sources. Here we can upload the files to create our own custom knowledge base. The data we provide will be used by our agent to respond to clients. The information should be as complete as possible, and this is our opportunity to personalize the experience by adding our own special insights and recommendations. Once our information sources are attached, we're ready to click on the Create Agent button. By clicking the button, we are returned to the agent gallery where we can see our agent being created. The process is fast, typically taking less than a minute. Once the process is complete, we're ready for testing. We can tune the agent by editing our instructions and enhancing our knowledge base. It's best practice to thoroughly test your agent. What's the history of the Highland House?
Highland House was built over a century ago by explorer Sir Alexander McAllister. It has been a gathering place for adventurers and was restored by his granddaughter, Isabella McAllister, who added her artistic touch.
What's the address we should be using in our navigation system?
The address for Highland House is 456 Mountain View Lane, Highland, California 94041.
What time is check-in?
Check-in time is any time after 4 p.m. If you need an earlier check-in, please let us know, and we'll do our best to accommodate you.
We'll be passing through downtown on our way up. Can you make a recommendation for dinner?
For Italian cuisine, I highly recommend Bella Pasta in the downtown area. Mention Alpine from Highland House for a complimentary dessert. Enjoy your meal.
To share your agent, click the Share button in the upper right corner. Use the link provided on your website, your social media channels, and anywhere an agent can provide value.
Fantastic. And I've seen Jim's actually in the webinar. He's in the audience. So hi, Jim. Thanks very much.
We'll be creating a
useful. So I just can't stress enough, just going to kind of finish up here, how important the face is. As we've seen, research from various fields indicate that having a face keeps attention, helps knowledge retention, and ultimately creates engagement, which are all the things that impact, the bottom lines of businesses. So this is our kind of raison d'etre, really. And with that, I will hand over back to you, Ron.
All right, so we have about 5 or so minutes left for some Q&A, and we've got tons of questions coming in on chat. First one, and both Matthew and Tomer, either of you can answer this. I created an agent. How do I use it on my website? This is from Philip. Tomer, you want to take this?
So the plan is to have your agent embedded on your website and be as a touch point to interact with your visitors, your customers, your prospects, whatever. And this is part of the plan and the roadmap of the product that will shortly will be released. So you will have the option to use the agent on your own website.
Yeah, we've had a couple of people asking about sharing it is, the agents are still in beta, and obviously the share functionality is super important, and we won't be coming out of beta until that's fully completed and highly usable.
Okay, and we have another question from Alan. When will agents be moving on to the mobile apps, or will they be moving on to the mobile apps?
I think that's more of a wait and see one. I think we want to see, we feel like agents is probably more of a business proposition, so therefore probably more appropriate for desktops. But to be honest, if people are clamoring for it, we'll definitely adapt it.
Excellent. Another kind of forward-looking question. How far are you from augmenting the hand gestures or integrating facial gestures into the agent's tone and text? So kind of making them even more human.
I think Matthew referred to the emotional aspect of NUI as a concept, and we are going to gain some interesting progress during 2024. So I just would recommend to stay tuned without disclosing too sensitive information. But yes, when we are talking about the concept of natural user interface, we are talking about a more comprehensive solution, definitely.
And this isn't a question, this is a comment. Maybe one of you can address it, that another very significant use case here would be education.
Yeah, we're seeing that a lot, and I've seen on today's webinar a lot of people who coming from the education, learning development space. So yeah, that's absolutely a use case we kind of endorse and support. I guess we haven't talked that much about it in this particular webinar, but that's something we will sort of take away, I think, because we know that having this face there is a significantly improves people's attention to the content in the first place, but probably more importantly, improves their memory of it afterwards. So it creates engagement, and it creates kind of learnability. So that's super important.
I can elaborate. So in the end, we are having like two types of avatars. We have like the creative reality studio, when you can use the avatars to create how-to videos and learning videos and onboarding videos and such. It's more like one directional road. So the avatar presents the content you provided it. But with agents, and this is like the second type of avatar, you can dialogue with the agents in real time. But think about the interaction you're going to have with your professor, with your teacher. It's a different type of experience, like real life. So you're going to have them both. It's up to you and up to the use case.
Seen one question here, Ron, about multilingual.
Yeah, I was going to address that. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think that's super interesting. So I've been playing around with agents myself. We use our own tech a lot, and what I've noticed is that when you can literally mid-flow switch languages. So you're starting in English and then you're suddenly switch to Spanish. It will answer in Spanish, and that's due to the incredible power of the large language models that we sort of sit behind our digital people. The one thing to watch out for there is the voice you use. So some voices are for a specific language. Some voices, as we just saw in Jim's video, are multilingual. So I've often had my agent speaking French, but in a very, very British accent, which doesn't work so well. So just be careful about the voice you choose. But yeah, it can flip literally mid-flow and flip back again. So the power is incredible of these agents.
Yeah. Kind of another forward-looking question here. How much flexibility will we have in terms of CSS and presentation of the agents? So we'll be able to modify the look and feel of the interface, the size of the agent's face, more kind of just user experience type questions. Either of you care to answer?
Sorry, I thought it was more of a statement, but sorry, what was the question? How would you paraphrase that?
I guess right now agents, you have the interface for those who have tried it. You have the agent in the circle on the screen. Will that be? Will people be able to modify it? I think the answer is you can probably already modify it using the API, but agents as a product itself, I think it still remains to be seen.
I think that's a definite thing that will be developed as we move forward. Right? So initially it was going to be more simple, and gradually as we move forward in time, we'll have more and more complex ways to share and embed and use your agent in different locations. Quite a lot of
again, a lot of when. Very soon is the answer, I guess. It's great to see the excitement around this. I think I'm just going to go scroll through one or two questions, but what is the best use case?
I saw a question about
Okay.
using agents or avatars for sales, for instance. So this is one of the use cases. Think about, again, going back to the two examples I shared around the learning and training. So you can create avatars that use the videos, the AI videos, in order to showcase your product, your services in one end. But on the other hand, you can use agents, for instance, for few use cases. One of them, for instance, to create a simulator. You can simulate your negotiation with customers using agents before of meeting with your customers. And using agents to dialogue with prospects. You can personalize your email marketing if you are an SDR, for instance. So you can think about various of use cases when you use AI avatars and AI agents to interact with customers and prospects. We talked about upsells and cross-sells. So there are many of those.
Yeah, and of course you can use it for learning for sales agents, helping train them, give them scenario training where the avatar will act like a difficult customer, and the sales agent can learn how to answer those questions.
I think the beauty is that we are providing the building blocks, and from here it's up to the human imagination. So you can do whatever you think you can do with real-time converse avatar. In the most natural way you can imagine.
All right, I think we're going to wrap it up. There's lots of questions, and I see that our team is already answering some of them in chat. We'll obviously be communicating a lot more about agents as it becomes publicly available. For now, anybody who's wants to try them out, take out your phone, scan the QR code. That'll take you to the sign up page where you can join the waiting list for AI agents. Before you do that, just remind you have to have an account for DID. You can Google or go to Creative Reality Studio or studio.did.com. Create an account. You get a 14-day free trial when you sign up. And we're also dropping a link in the chat now. So for those of you who are still here, click on that. You'll get 20 additional free credits. Also to play around with the agents, play around with all of our product. We'll also be sending out that link in a follow-up email to everybody who participated in the webinar. Once you have a DID account, you can join the wait list, and within 24 to 48 hours, you'll receive access and create your first agent, start building it, trying it out, having conversation with it, and very soon, we promise, you'll also be able to share your agent and have your customers, your friends, your users converse with it.
Ron, I see we are getting a lot of questions on the chat, still getting a lot of questions. So I think we are going to gather all the questions, try to reach out to you. We are going to send an email afterwards with the recording, and we'll try to create an answer for all of you. And keep following us. How to follow us, Ron?
Absolutely. So glad you asked. So yes, please follow us. You can see all our social media channels on the screen, and we have our Facebook community where we invite you to share your videos. Share if you're creating an agent, grab a video screenshot of the interaction with the agent, post it up there for everybody to see, give feedback on. We're looking at that community on a daily basis. Sheldon is answering questions. Other members of the communities are helpful and can give you tips on creating videos, creating agents, everything. We really encourage conversation there. Yeah, stay tuned for the next DID Academy webinar. We're going to have one in February. We'll be kind of releasing more information about that in the coming days. And I think that's everything. So thank you, everyone. First of all, thank you, Toma. Thank you, Matthew. I think it was a great
Thank you, everybody.
conversation.
Yeah.
And
to
thank
speak
you,
with you.
everyone. We'll see you next time.